All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to The House Always Wins, where every day we're talking DraftKings is number one, but today we're kind of talking a trend in market sentiment. So it's right after Memorial Day weekend, and I see because this long holiday weekend, this is my opinion here. I'm not, I'd kind of be interested to hear what you guys think, but don't take me as like your financial advisor. But I'm saying this is my opinion after Memorial Day weekend, what has happened in the markets. And I think we see the great reopening of America. People were out, they were off of work, they were out hiking, saw everybody outside at the malls, stores. People are coming back, the economy's coming back to life. And today I see it as the first day investors are willing to dump money into the beat up sectors. So you can tell right here, my first homepage, United Airlines, Royal Caribbean. I always looking at the ETF markets, like the sectors that have been hammered. Like the ones that have been hammered in these sectors were the XLF, like financials, because people were afraid of the banks and all this debt they had on their balance sheet. For this sector to be up 6% in a day is insane. Like sectors don't normally jump that much. Like 2% is a really big day. But energy was hammered. Financials were hammered. And I'll go back to the screen I was just at, and you can tell like these solid companies that I love investing in, like Take-Two and Activision Blizzard, great companies. But you can tell what's happening. It's not like they're bad companies here, but 5% down. What people did is they made profits all during coronavirus on these two, and now they're dumping them into Norwegian Cruise Lines, which if there's a vaccine and stuff, and cruises are taking off next year for NCL to be down to, I don't even know what the number was, but it was down like 80% or something. But it kind of makes sense. Like, you might as well put some money there if people think cruise lines are going to come back. I'm a little bit skeptical of airlines, cruise lines. I just think there's so many better things like a stock like DraftKings, because I just see so much growth with so little risk in ways, other than there is some government regulation risk with gambling stocks. But overall, like a mobile platform like DraftKings, and the article I'm going to read here today, I'm not going to take up too much of your guys' time, is the big thing that happened this weekend, which is why part of the reason why the stock is popping today. I'll just show you guys on the watch list, like my watch list, where DraftKings is at today. Like, boom, it's up huge today. As you guys are all, it's already up to 11% today. Holy crap! I just checked it back. It was 9, and most of the morning it was 5. Good job for y'all investing in DraftKings. Is why I'm invested in this company. But the reason I'm getting into the reason here why I was expecting a big pop today, not 11%, but I was expecting a pop, was because the match this weekend between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, and it gave everyone who's interested in investing in DraftKings a preview of. I was waiting to find this term of what it's called, and it's in this article. I keep forgetting the name of it. You guys are probably familiar with the term, but it's the in-game. It's called a prop bet. In-game prop bets is like the future of gambling and sports gambling, and maybe even esports gambling and stuff too. But I think just the growth of where United States sports betting is at, and then DraftKings being like the mobile leader of this. Like, the one thing I can pull up my video of this weekend, but if you saw my last video, that the match between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson showed all of the prop bets that, like, especially if you open their sportsbook app, all of the prop bets that you can bet on during like a televised event. And like, even on their sportsbook app, if you have money in their account, like in your DraftKings sports betting account, you can watch the events. Like, they're almost like a media company now too. So if you're invested, like, you might not need to have a cable company or something like that. If you just kind of like want to watch sports betting, you can like stream live stuff from there, and then also like bet on them. So like, why I keep going back to the match here is like, you could bet on the odds of Tiger or Peyton Manning winning a golf hole, but then there's all kinds of other prop bets, they call them, like in game, where like, who's going to hit the long drive, Tiger or Phil, or who's going to hit it in the water first. Like, there's unlimited things you can bet on. And I'm just going to go into this article here. I've got it on my phone so I can read it. I'll let you guys watch some. This is some of the other cool products they're doing is like, DraftKings has 113,000 subscribers on YouTube. And this is like another thing for like, it's esports, but it's really entertainment for people who are NFL fans, that can like kind of bet, and I've got a couple little contests going on these, and it's just simulations of EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden, and like all these DraftKings fans are watching it now. 1,500 people, they've got little bets on it. It's just a computer simulation of everyone who's playing the game. But I'll quit messing around with that. I'll get into reading this article. Is that CEO Jason Rodman says that developing more in-game betting opportunities and calling it our number one focus from a product perspective. So like this is where they as a company see the growth, and I think it's really, really true because you can bet on anything. It says in the UK in-game, United Kingdom, in-game is about 75% of the revenues in sportsbooks, and in the United States it's much lower is what he says, but obviously like we're growing next. He says the in-game stuff is like who will get a yellow card in a soccer match next. He says, think about baseball. So Robbins looks like the CEO hints like he's going to say baseball is going to be a really good one. You can see where they're going to grow into for prop bets is what these are called. And tennis, people are literally, what he says, are betting on every single point in tennis. So like DraftKings can have all of these live prop bets that like you might be losing in who you think might win the tennis match. Like if you put, like let's say you put $50 on Roger Federer or something like that, why you might lose that one match or win that one, you can kind of hedge with like little points and plays and stuff in there too. And it said viewers of the charity Pro-Am golf match Sunday between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson got a chance to see DraftKings in-match odds on the screen during the broadcast. So this is what I showed during my last video was like the live odds that are going to be on these screens. And just think with DraftKings being a partner of the NFL, if they have those live odds with DraftKings, like the logo and everything on the screen while people are streaming and or watching their NFL games, like they're just gonna see instantly DraftKings. Like that's where I can go to place a bet. So I feel like brand loyalty is going to be huge, like kind of like cigarettes or something where people would only buy Marlboros. You wouldn't like switch to a different cigarette brand ever. I feel like it's going to be like that with sports betting is like once you're familiar with a sports book and a sports app, you're probably not going to be very likely to change which sports betting company you do it through out of convenience sake. Like you might check for other odds on other platforms, but out of convenience, you're going to have one you favor. And DraftKings, in my opinion, is going to be the most user intuitive, friendly, and like just commonly available and promoted. Like it's going to be the number one because of NFL, PGA, stuff like that. Shares of DraftKings were up more than 3% at midday on Tuesday, which is today, but obviously I just showed you guys it's up like 11% right now. It says it's surged since April, along with like Las Vegas Sands, which I'm actually kind of a bull on LVS too, because it's got a lot of Asia exposure, like most of their casinos in it's kind of doesn't make sense, but Las Vegas Sands is a lot of like the Macau and China, but like in-person casinos. But it says DraftKings has been on a roll, even though sports are on hold. What else am I going to get to in here? We think that being a digital-first company has some pluses in addition to general migration to online channels. Robin says younger bettors are more likely to prefer and wager on their phones, which I completely agreed with, and they don't have the huge overhead. He says we're expecting the sports calendar to be full enough to achieve their expected numbers. Major League Baseball coming online around July 4th. Surprisingly strong interest. And I'm just going to leave it with that. The article goes on. But what I'm going to say is the reason I started to invest in this right at IPO time was I saw the during COVID-19 when there was no sports, there was no March Madness. I saw the ratings, and this doesn't have anything to do with sports betting, but I saw the pent-up demand for the NFL draft. Like round one of the NFL draft was like triple what it was last year. So it's like, people were dying. Like that's when I like saw DraftKings was going public. I'm like, I'm in. Is because there's this huge pin-up demand for sports betting and sports. Like it's literally just a dude reading off names and like the ratings were like through the roof. So I think DraftKings, the reason it's popping right now, and I think it will for a long time, is because I think once the NFL pops off, like I think the pin-up demand is huge. And that's why DraftKings is surging. So that's my quick video for today. I don't want it to drag on too long. Please, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notifications because I do want to talk about this stock daily and all the stock opportunities. And I really am not making this YouTube channel to make money or anything because I don't know that I'll ever get there. But I do want to have like a lot of conversations and hear what you guys think about DraftKings because what I've been watching about some other channels talking about DraftKings is a lot of people seem scared with the valuation. The fact that the stock keeps rising and rising, and it seems like it's harder and harder to get into. But I think it's like there's so much growth for this company to have, with like gambling being legalized in more places, and then being like the first mobile platform, like with like they have a really clean app for like the fantasy stock and the sportsbook app. So I think those edges are really, really big. But I really want to talk with you guys and get your guys' comments on what you guys think of the stock market as a whole today. Are we like turning the tide with COVID-19? Are people putting in too much money? Is it too risky right now? But I don't want to drag this on. I just want to say have a good day. I hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend, and we're looking like we're stock market's back up again. All right, see you guys.